The Bronnie Show.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to Mom, It's My Life. It's our podcast. I'm joined here with Chris.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Christopher. Who are we joined here with?
We are joined here with Hannah Greenwood from Creeper, everybody.
Yeah.
It's like one of those moments where I expect to hear like clapping, and there's no clapping.
No claps.
Audience interaction, guys.
Yeah. I'll add some claps afterwards. So Hannah, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
Good. Mm-hmm.
Drinking your Tango. Is that Tango?
Getting by. Mm-hmm. It is Tango.
Yeah.
I bought a whole 24 pack for £6 from Tesco.
Oh my
Essential
gosh,
shopping.
that's not bad.
It's pretty
It's a good deal there.
It's a great deal. Right, how are you finding quarantine? What have you been like up to?
Yeah, I've got into a bit of a routine now, like working out a lot. Like today I went for before quarantine I couldn't jog 5k, like probably couldn't even jog 1k without like a bit of walking, like that's fine. But like I don't know, recently I've just been doing lots of jogging, I've been doing my daily exercise. I'm still only going out once a day, like I'm not going to go and sit in a park. I bought like quite a few jigsaws because I fucking love jigsaws.
Oh, jigsaws and Lego.
But jigsaws are fucking expensive, like because I go for the Ravensburger ones and they're £10. I was like, whoa.
They're the proper ones.
Yeah, they're like proper, like, you know, the pieces are like stiff, like they're not flimsy. That's kind of
it's the real deal.
Some good quality jigsaw. You've got yourself there. Nice. That's good. So
I guess it's good as well doing exercise because it releases your
endorphins.
Yeah, it does. And like it actually makes, when I wake up in the morning, I look forward. I never thought I would say I look forward to going for a run, but like I genuinely look forward to it.
Oh right.
It's mad. Like the endorphins are legit.
The endorphins are legit.
Legitness.
Endorphins equals legit. Like if anyone thinks endorphins are bullshit, I'm telling you, they're not.
We've got proof that they are legit. Oh,
yeah,
nice.
the truth.
That's
so,
cool.
So tell us about yourself. Tell us, the viewers and all that. What do you do? Where do you live?
So I live outside Oxford. I won't tell you where because nobody has ever heard of it and it's just hard to explain. So I basically just say I live in Oxford. I am getting old, so I'm turning 30 in August and I'm kind of hoping that it's not going to be in isolation. I know!
You look amazing!
Thank you.
Oh, hell yeah, girl!
People are always like, I went somewhere once, I signed up to, I went to Slimming World with my mum because she wanted to lose weight for the wedding. And I went there, and I think you have to be 18. And the lady sat me down and was like, "Are you old enough to sign up?" And I was like, "Yeah." And at the time, I was 28, and she was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." I was like, "No, it's fine."
That's so good.
I was like,
yes,
"It's
fine." Thank you.
My new best
friend. Thank you for thinking I'm 17. Like I will stick with that forever.
That was like my older, because I used to do musical theatre. So my dance teacher was 40, and he looked that young. He still got ID'd to go into clubs and pubs and all that because they were like, you're like a 16-year-old. He's like, I'm 40 but I'll take it. Like,
yeah, right. So it is funny, like when I was younger, if people like I remember I was hanging out with a friend of my mum and she was like, "Oh, so what are you doing for your A-levels?" And at the time I was at uni and like it really annoyed me, and my mum was like, "Oh, when you get older you'll really appreciate when someone thinks you're younger." And I've got to that age now where I'm like
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, so aside from being old soon, I play keys in a band called Creeper, and I do a little bit of singing as well, a little bit of sing-songing, and that's my life.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So you were the session keyboardist, weren't you, in Creeper before joining the band?
Yep.
So before you were in the band, how does it transition from you being a session player to being in the band? Was it natural? Did it just happen?
Yeah, it was. So I knew Sean, who plays bass. I knew him when I was at uni, and he called me one day while I was working at my job. I used to work at a school. I was the school secretary, which is very different from what I do now. But yeah, he called me one day and was like, "I'm in this band, and we need somebody to play keys because like none of us are really sort of good enough apart from plonking a few notes out on the piano." And he was like, and I remember that you play keys. And I was like, yeah, sure. So I went down to Southampton one day, did some stuff on the EP, which was, oh my God, I guess it was the Stranger EP at the time.
Right.
And then, yeah, so I did that. And it just was really natural. And it got to the point where they were like, we can't actually tour without you. Well, we don't really want to tour without you. Like, we don't want to put keys and like your backing vocals on a track.
Yeah.
Do you basically want to quit your job and tour with us full time? And I was like, absolutely, yes, I do want to do that.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So it was.
So it's very natural.
Yeah, it was that one. Was it that one lot of recordings that was it? It was like, as soon as you did that, it was straightforward.
Yeah, it was basically put some stuff down on the EP, like hung out with them a bit. I did a tour with them in August 2015 with Jerry Only's Misfits, and I was still a session player at the time, so I was kind of like right at the back of the stage, like hidden away. And then after that tour, they were basically like, we don't really want to do it without you, and I don't really see how we can. So rather than you be a session player, we'd quite like to put you in full time.
That's
really
awesome.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I bet you were.
So it's very organic.
Like to get that. Yeah. Do you want to stay in the band? You'd like.
Yeah, it was like, and like I'd been at my new job for like I think I'd been there for about a year and a half, 2 years. And when I got the job, they were like, is this going to be a permanent position for you? And like, I was planning on moving from receptionist to headmaster's PA. And I was like, yeah, like, this is what I want to do. Like, I'm going to be here permanently. And then I had to be like, so something's coming.
Second thoughts.
That's mad.
They were chill about it, though. They knew that that's what I always wanted to do. And like, they were like, you'll never have this opportunity again. Like, you don't have kids. Like, you might as well like make the most of it and just go touring. And I was like, bye.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh, sweet. That's so good. Oh, nice. Right. I've got an interesting, just a weird question that I'm just going to throw in here. Can you please explain to me what Creeper Angel Blood Plum Hot Sauce is and how it came about?
I think you really need Will here. But like a friend of Will's called Lou. I've only met him like once or twice. I'm like the worst for meeting people. I'm socially very awkward, so I don't really meet them.
We all are.
Yeah, I'm literally the worst. But he's got like a hot sauce company, and he like Will is massive on hot sauce. Like what Will can eat in terms of like spice is just ridiculous.
So it would just be pointless doing a challenge with him, you know, like
just pointless. Like yeah, like I think he went for a curry, and he basically said to the guy, like, what's the hottest? And they were like, oh, you can have a fowl, which is like the hottest. And he was like, but I will warn you, like, it is really fucking hot. And Will was like, nah, I'll take it. Yeah. And like, and he was like, okay. So he brought out this fowl for Will, and he ate it. Like, no problem. Like, he's basically got no taste buds at this point, so it doesn't affect him.
God.
Right.
But like, he then went out to a club and had like had a couple of beers, and he just said that like his insides felt like the depths of hell.
I've been out after like a Rogan Josh with the boys and like a few beers, and in the morning it's like it's not a good time. I cannot.
The whole write off.
Yeah, so, I mean, he didn't go too far into detail, but he was just like, he just said it felt like there was like a red hot poker in his belly, basically. And I was like, well, yeah, no, shit. So yeah, so he's like a big fan of hot sauce, and basically him and Lou came up with the idea to make a hot sauce. I haven't actually tried it. I don't have it yet. Like, I'm guessing at some point I'll have some, but
because I heard about this like a couple of weeks ago in passing somewhere on Twitter. I saw it and I was like, oh, check it out. I might get some, and it's sold out everywhere.
Yeah, it's sold out like so quickly. I mean,
it's a hot. Pardon the pun, but it's a hot commodity. It's banned brand hot sauce. It's that's really
people.
Cool.
Yeah, people love hot sauce. They went wild for that hot sauce, and like people, they're like sending us I've seen quite a few like recipes of people using it, and I'm like, damn, I still haven't tried.
Oh, awesome!
Oh, really that you haven't tried any.
I'll let you know. Like when I get it, I'll let you know what it's like.
Yes, please do. I'm very intrigued to find out what it is. Plum hot sauce. Never had it.
Love it. Yeah. So the new album. Tell us all about the new album. Are you excited? And
yeah, I am really excited. Like we've pushed it back. It was meant to come out on the 22nd of May, and we've pushed it back to the 31st of July because we've rescheduled our tour that was meant to be in April. We've rescheduled it to August. I mean, it's tricky because no one has any idea what's going to happen.
No, it's hard, isn't it?
It's really difficult. And like, it's probably, I don't want to be negative, but like, it's probably not going to happen in August now because I can't see hundreds of people being able to be in a room together, but with like, that's just me speculating. But yeah, so we push it back to July. Like I'm super excited about it, and I just want people to hear it because it's been so long in the making. It's been like a really long time since we released the first album.
Oh, it has been,
The first album was 2017.
Yeah.
2017. Is that right? Yeah.
2017.
So I've
long.
And I've got a friend, Ben. I'm going to shout out Ben Aldridge here because he is a big fan of yours and he's a good friend of ours. And I asked him, if you could ask you any questions, what would you ask? And he said, if you could choose one Creeper song to listen to for the rest of lockdown, past or present, what would it be?
It would be, so what would it be? Okay, it would be, can we do Future? Can we do one? Can I have one off the new album?
Yeah.
Go for it.
It would be one called All My Friends, which is, I can't wait for people to hear that. It's the last track.
It's got a hidden track 15.
Oh.
Yeah, the hidden track's sick actually. But so All My Friends, honestly, I can't wait for people to hear it. But it's like, I don't want to give too much away actually, because I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know. But it's sick.
Sure.
Like that is what I would listen to for the rest of lockdown, and I kind of hope that people would agree. It's a sad one. It is a sad one, but like I like sad.
I feel like the sad songs from like my favorite albums, songs from albums are always the sad ones.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for like a ballad, like any sort of sad banger. I'm like,
love it.
A sad banger. So
sad
like
banger
talking
ballad.
About like the new stuff. How would you compare the new album to the old stuff? Like, I saw an interview somewhere saying that this was a lot more, like, there's a lot more keys and different kind of sounds going on. How would you compare the two?
It's very different, and I think for some people it might be too different. I've already seen a few comments from people being like, "Oh, are you going to release any up-tempo stuff? Or is there going to be any up-tempo stuff on this album?" And there is some up-tempo stuff, but it's not the same as the EPs.
Kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's not like Poison Pens. It's not like Gloom. Like it is very different, and it is quite theatrical and keys based. There's orchestra in there, and there is still like hints of Creeper. There's still like the Creeper ballads in there. So All My Friends is kind of like the new Misery, and then there's like a duet in there with me and Will, and like there is some like stuff like old Creeper stuff, but I do think it will split people off. It is a change in sound from like original Creeper for sure.
Yeah, but I do feel that if bands were to keep on, repeating the same stuff, it'll just get boring, I guess. So I think it's really good to venture out and, make new music that, it is still you, but kind of not. Yeah, if you get me.
Yeah, you have to change. Yeah, like you said, you can't be the same. It's like when Paramore. I remember when they moved from like Riot, and like they evolved. And at first I was like, oh no, but then I was like, well, no, you have to evolve. Like you can't just keep churning out the same stuff because people will get bored. And like the thing is, like what I've realised about being in a band is like you really can't please everyone, and like you will lose people, and there will be people that are like, this is shit, or like can't believe you don't sound like you used to. And they're the ones that's fine, like that's obviously your opinion, but we have to evolve and we have to do what is best for us, and if we can't please you, then that's okay.
And you're always, I think every band and artist, they're always going to get compared to their most popular album or their first album or their original sound. So if you're doing exactly the same sound, if the songs aren't as popular enough to the fans, they'll always still have something to say. So I feel like I'm really excited to hear the new music. Yeah, honestly,
to kind of like reward people for waiting another 2 months for July. Like we have got some stuff coming out. Like we're releasing a song that isn't on the album called Damned and Doomed, which is just for people that have pre-ordered, which they'll get at, I think, the end of May. And like with Creeper, we always try, like we always have the listener's best interest at heart. And yeah, so I'm really excited. So it isn't just a case, like for the people that are like, damn, like I really wanted Creeper's album to listen to in lockdown, like we're still going to be doing stuff until the album is released. It's not just like, sorry, you've got to wait 2 more months. So yeah, I'm super excited. I really want people to hear it. Like I just want
very cool
to be out, and I just wish that we could tour, but it's got to wait a bit longer for that.
R.I.P. So you were saying it's very theatrical. So is there characters in the songs? Did I read in interviews that Annabelle has a certain character in the album?
So it's still a kind of concept album, and there's still a story behind it. Obviously it's totally removed from eternity, like, and like the Callous Heart and stuff like that. But yeah, there are characters. Like Will's character is called Ro, and my character is Annabelle, and they basically like fall in love, and like Annabelle is meant to marry someone else, and it's set in like a sort of mining town, and Ro is this kind of I can't really think of the right word, but he's like this non-earthly kind of being, if that makes sense. And like so there is a story to it, and like that will come out a bit more, and like there's lots of ideas that we've got to sort of create that storyline.
That's awesome. I find it so interesting. And ages ago, when was it? You guys released a book, didn't you?
Yeah, God, that was oh my God, that was like 3 years ago. Yeah.
That's very
so interesting.
It's very cool.
That was fun. That was basically like all the story of the last story, and it had like lots of different bits in it. I think I've got it somewhere like upstairs, but like sometimes I flick through it just to remind myself of like all the things I did.
What did we do? I always find it so interesting with Creeper, like you and Will in particular, so creative. Like the vision of everything is so like it's down to a T. I'd liken it very much to like My Chem. It's the kind of how I see it all. It's so interesting and like visual, and like I was looking at like people were asking you and Will about the new logo and stuff like that, and I find that really interesting. Is like how a lot of people just look past it as it's a new logo, but everything has a meaning, and everything like there's you do everything for a reason, which I love.
It's not just an album.
Yeah, it's like, and I would love to be able to take the credit for it, but like Will is the brains. Like I'm just kind of there to like fill in the gaps, I guess. Like I'm just the piano player. No, but like
I'm just the drummer, so
yeah, I'm honestly like, no, I just think he's, but like the way his brain works, like his creative ability, and like he doesn't stop. And I look at him and like I really I aspire to sort of be like Will, because I can get into a bit of a rut, and I can be quite lazy. And Will is just constantly thinking. He's all like, everything happens for a reason, and like he has all these creative ideas. And the same with Ian, like the way they bounce off each other. I'm just like, how does your brain work like this? Like I'm thinking about what I'm having for lunch, not like the logo of the new album.
I'm like you. I don't have the brain for that kind of level of focus and function for other things that are so like not in like the conversation that's going on at the moment. Whereas like Bron is not like that at all. She's so like, she can be we can be having a conversation and her head will instantly switch to something that's like 5 months down the line that she's got an idea for, and it's like, I don't understand.
See that? I wish I could be like that. I am jealous of people like that. Like, I can, if I'm given a task, I'm really good at like focusing, and like I'm quite stubborn, and like if I want to get something done, I'll get it done. But like usually that's with guidance from someone else. I'm not very good. Like, I'm not a very good leader. Whereas Will is a fantastic leader, and that's why like, I don't know, like some people say to me like, do you think you could front a band? And I'm like, no. Like, what I do, I know that people sort of some people see Will and I as like a joint front, but it isn't like that. Like, I couldn't do what Will does. I don't have the confidence to be he just like radiates this like just confidence,
just an aura about him. But I think it works well. The dynamic between him and me, I think it works really well, and I don't think it would work having two leaders. So like, and that's fine. Like, I'm really happy with my position, but yeah, I'm just so jealous of the way his brain works. I wish my brain was constantly like,
so I saw an interview you did, I think it was for, is it National Women's Day or something? Basically you were saying how you gave an example that you walk into a venue, you have to flash your lanyard to everyone, and you know, the guy members don't have to, and how you still find you have to not prove yourself, but as in, you know, for women in the industry. So what are your thoughts on that, and how do you kind of overcome any comments or?
Yeah, that's always been a tricky one. Like, there was an incident, oh my god, it was like four years ago. There was an incident like, we were on tour with Let Live and Pierce the Veil, and I was basically at a venue, and I had a conversation with the stage manager about loading out, and it was a one-to-one conversation between me and this guy, and he was like, can you just make sure that your crew don't leave flight cases in front of the fire exit? And I was like, yeah, no problem, like, we're loading out now, like, that's all good. And then I wheeled the flight case out, walked back into the venue with one of the guys in Let Live, and we were sort of talking, and he'd put his arm around me in like a friendly way. Like, I had my bright green lanyard with my laminate on it, and his was in his back pocket, and the guy that I had just had the conversation with stopped in front of me and put his hand basically in my face. I was like, oh, sorry, you can't come in this way. And I was like, we have just had a conversation. I was like, I'm literally, I was like, I'm wearing my laminate, like, I'm in the band. And he was like, oh, and like laughed it off. And I was like, no. And I turned to him and I was like, that isn't acceptable. Look at all the male members. Like, I was the only female person on that whole tour. And I was like, you're not even checking their laminates. Like, all their laminates are tucked in their pocket, in the fucking dressing room, on the butt. Like, most of them had them on their person, but like, and I was like, why have you stopped me for no other reason than sexism? And he was like, it's not like that. And I was like, what is it then?
What
like,
else is it? Yeah.
And then he just laughed at me, and I was like, no. And then in the end, like, our tour manager basically had to have a chat with like the venue manager, and like, it was this big thing. And then the guy came and apologized, and like brought me a bottle of whiskey. And I was like, it's still not right, but I'll take your whiskey.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then like, but I made a big post about it on the internet, and most people understood what I was saying. But I was met with backlash from people being like, that's not sexist. Fuck, calm down, love. And I was like, oh my God, like, this is the problem.
Probably so they just don't understand. And
yeah. And it was all like, it was all men that were like, calm down. Like, somebody was like, calm down, sugar tits. And I was like, what? I like, was exploding.
It's insane.
From a guy's perspective, and like, obviously I like playing for Bron, I didn't even think about it, because like when I was growing up, it was bands like Paramore. I was like, I saw Hayley Williams, and I just automatically went, I'd love to do what she does. Like, I didn't even think anything of it, because to me it was like, the way I was brought up, it's the same person. There's no difference. But like, since playing for Bron, like I've seen it firsthand how awful it can be. And like, when we went to see WithCon, their merch girl, someone was giving her a load of abuse, and they had to kick him out of the venue. And it's like, it blows my mind in the music industry how just backwards it can be sometimes. I just find it
even just the way you look. Like I love makeup. I love being, you know, I love wearing makeup on stage, and I'll wear a skirt or whatever.
Yeah.
And I have people saying, "Oh, I thought when we were supporting Neck Deep and Waster, in fact, people were like, I want to apologise because obviously I've never said anything online, but I just thought you would be like a stupid girly girl on stage, not really knowing anything, and thinking that your music's a bit shit. But I actually really enjoyed your performance." And I was like, that's literally like, because the way I like you look, and it's like, it shouldn't have to be like that. And
I know, it's that pre-judgment. It's like, I just, and like, it's happened to like pretty much every single woman I have met in the music industry, like whether they're a photographer, like merch, in the band, like they've all faced problems with security where it's either been like consistently having their laminate checked even though it's around their neck, or like the same person is still asking, like obviously I appreciate that security they have to do their job, and like one thing that like I've always worn my laminate where you can see it because that's what they're for. Like I'm not one of these people that's like, do you not know who I am? Like, do you not know that I'm in the band? Like it's not fucking like that. But like,
do you know who I am?
Excuse me. But when you see like male members of crew that have their laminate like on their hip, under their hoodie, or like in their back pocket, and they don't even get a second glance, it's like, wow, okay, cool. Like, who do you think I am? Do you just assume that I'm just a girlfriend? Like, that drives me mad.
Maybe you should start playing the do you fucking know who I am card. I think
I might just get a t-shirt and be like, do you know?
Do you fucking and just your name on the back.
Yeah. Don't fucking ask
if
me.
they're like, no, you just turn around like,
you know I am. Well, fucking read this as I walk past you.
But it is shit, like, and like actually in fairness, I mean, we haven't toured for quite some time now, but like it hasn't happened to me as regularly as it used to. Like when I first started touring, it really did happen quite a lot, and like it hasn't happened to me so much now, but like I know it's still happening, like sadly it probably always will.
Yeah, I think that's kind of it's unfortunate that's the way the world is now, and I mean it's horrible to say there's not a lot you can do about it, because there should be everything you can do about it, but like the kind of people that are in power in like America, it's like it doesn't really like bode particularly well for like how we're going to get past this kind of thing. But you know,
for sure.
But like, so speaking of saying you haven't toured in a while, you have been playing with, well, last year you were doing a lot of stuff with Neck Deep. So how did that stuff kind of come up? How did that come about?
Oh my god, I actually can't remember. No, but like, oh my goodness, how did that start? I actually don't know. But yeah, like I did do some stuff for them, like session stuff, which was really fun, and it was nice because it kind of just filled the time that I wasn't doing anything. I'm not like, at the moment, I'm not doing any session for stuff for them right now, because the idea was that we were going to be touring most of this year, so I wouldn't have been able to do Neck Deep and Creeper at the same time. But I'm sure like the opportunity will come again where I can do some stuff for Neck Deep. But like I've been friends with them for years. We toured with them in 2016, and yeah, it was just a case of when Phil left, they didn't really have any harmonies, and I think it was a case of like not wanting to necessarily put harmonies on track, and I was there like, I can stand in the back and sing, and that was yeah. And then I did like I played a little bit of piano on one or two of the tracks on their new album. But yeah, it's sick. I guess with them that would probably just be like a rolling thing. Like if I go to one of their shows and they're like, oh yeah, do you want to sing? But they've got Seb now, and like Seb's like just talented all round. So he is,
isn't he?
He's fantastic. Yeah, I mean they're all great, but ultimately like Creeper is where I want to concentrate my time. And as much as I'd love to be able to do Creeper and Neck Deep, I would just constantly be on tour. Like flying to different places.
You do need some downtime.
That's where we all met, wasn't it? Neck Deep show?
Yeah.
That was almost a year ago.
Oh shit!
I know.
May 18th?
Wait, I can tell you, I've got the thing. It was the 18th of May.
Hey!
I've got a snare drum head on the wall Do you know what's interesting? I got everyone to sign that who played for Neck Deep that night, and you didn't sign it. So.
Oh my god! I'll sign it now virtually.
Yeah, virtually sign it.
I remember that because I met you in the toilet. You were on the phone. And I was like, "Hello."
Oh yeah.
And you were like, "Who's this fucking crazy girl?
Who is this? Why? I can't even remember who's on the phone.
With the natural hair. Oh my god.
But oh my god, I cannot actually believe that was a year ago. Nearly.
I know.
That's gone really quickly.
Wow.
If lockdown, like isolation, could go that quickly, that'd be wonderful.
Hell yeah. Isn't that insane? If someone would say to you, last year, right, this time next year, you're just all going to be in lockdown for months.
I'd be like,
isn't that insane?
For fuck's sake.
What are you saying? I'd have been pissed. Damn it.
Especially because this time of the year, so we normally do all our headline shows end of the year and beginning, so all the money we make, we travel around Europe and do free acoustic hangouts with the fans and meet them all, and that's always at this time of year, and now we can't go, and we're like, it's so sad.
It's a summer. It's like festivals gone. Like I've got Slam Dunk tickets, and I was just like, oh, for fuck's sake!
It's so. Oh my god! We were supposed to be. Obviously, we had the tour in April. We were supposed to be doing loads of festivals, like all over Europe in June, and then like 2,000 Trees, and then like going on tour towards the end of the year. And it's just like I haven't even opened my diary. Like I might as well just put it in the bin. Like I don't need that.
Like, what's the point in 2020 diary? No, because
I'm usually going to burn it.
Yeah, I was speaking to Seb, and he was like, I don't even know if we're going to be able to do this September tour.
Yeah.
Stuff, and he's just like,
it's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah, I was just talking to Matt, their drum tech, and and like I just sort of said to him, I don't know, like if touring happens this year, and that is a big if. I don't think it will. It's going to be like small venues, like less than 500 cap less, and even then that's a push. But like to do Ali Pali, I don't think that'll happen for them this year, and that sucks. I mean, they'll smash it next year, but like for them, it sucks. Like I really hope it happens. Like unless there's a magical vaccine.
And especially because they haven't been touring a lot, have they? As in headline shows anyway. for a while.
Not for a while. And everyone like because their album comes out in July, and it would have just been like sick, like the new album, and then like Ali Pali and like all those September shows, and it's like
so sad.
Right, this call is about to end because Zoom.
I thought it was going to.
But Hannah, thank you so much for coming on and chatting to us.
That's okay.
An absolute dream. One last question before this ends. I have no idea when it's going to end. What's your favourite meal deal?
Oh my god, I don't know. Like probably something really boring, like a Tesco like sandwich, crisps, rye beef.
I knew that was going to happen. I watched it tick down, and then it.
I know. I was like, "Did you hear?"
About a minute, and I was like, "Oh shit."
All I said was like, I don't know, like a sandwich, crisp, and rye peanut, and then it was like,
and it was got. I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake."
The Zoom was like, "That's shit. We're just gonna end it."
Nah, fuck that.
Yeah. So, Bron, I know that there's a couple. There's a few more things you wanted to ask before we went, and then obviously it ended quite abruptly, but we're back.
It was like,
we're back. Yeah. So what is your actual meal deal of choice?
Yeah, what is your meal deal of choice?
You got to do the flavors, Hannah.
There's two people I judge. There's two things I judge people on. One is shoes. The other is meal deal.
Okay. Oh no. Okay. Okay. This is a tough one. So,
seriously,
depending on what mood I'm in, like my local convenience store is the Co-op, and they do a good pasta, tomato, basil salad thing. But no, actually maybe not that. It would be a sandwich. Probably I'm a big fan of egg and cress and prawn mayonnaise, which I know is not up there for a lot of people.
I am a fan of that.
I mean,
good.
Don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of it, but when that sandwich is like £1.80 anyway, why not shoot for the stars and like give yourself like the £2.50 sandwich? Like,
get your money's worth.
Like, yeah,
that is true. But I do like most of the time that I'm doing a meal deal is like obviously probably when I'm on tour, and I'm trying my best to be as healthy as possible. So like I find with the prawn and the egg, they're like the less calorie side.
Yeah.
And then I'll like go for a bit of Monster Munch, pickled onion. I mean, any Monster Munch.
Yes. That is
but pickled onion
a good answer.
Is the one.
It's a god tier crisp. 100%.
Yeah,
my favourite is that or Quavers.
Oh my god, I love all Skips.
Quavers.
I like Skips.
Oh,
Skips.
yeah.
Oh.
McCoy's barbecue.
Oh, to be fair,
Crinkle cut.
crisp. Oh,
any crisps are
just
fucking
the one.
good.
Yeah,
just
crisps.
carbs.
I feel like they're always there for you.
Give me carbs. Like...
Yeah, just I love crisps. Like fucking grab bag, share bag. No, it's just for me.
Hell
like,
yeah.
That's fine.
And what drink?
So yeah.
Ooh, yeah, what drink?
Ooh, well, like that. Ooh, I don't know. Like if there's a lilt there, maybe a lilt.
Lilt.
Ribena.
Very exotic.
Very, you know, or Robinsons. Is it Robinsons? They do like their kind of like flavored water ones, which I know is a little bit boring, but like they're actually quite nice. Like they're not just like shitty flavored water.
They are pretty
like,
good.
Yeah, it depends how sugary I feel.
I remember when I was at school, primary school, when they first released the, it was like H2O, but it was like the juiced version of it, and like everyone used to bring in these bottles, and it was the first time like clear juice was a thing, and like the school had to like ban having anything but the official school water bottles. But they were
no way.
All these kids just before school, they just crack open the bottle and like pour it into the like. That was like. Yeah. It was like trying to get past your parents when you were drunk, when you came home from party. It was the same equivalent, but at primary school, like trying to sneak drinks into class.
That's amazing.
That's so good. I love
how ridiculous is that? Trying
I
to
like
sneak
that.
Flavoured water into class, like I
rebels, true rebels.
Yeah,
rebel.
So we were chatting about this at Slam Dunk because I saw it on your Instagram. So Grandma Wolf.
Yeah. That's kind of like, bless it. That's on the back burner a bit at the moment. Mm-hmm. Just
I've literally just bought a t-shirt like an hour
I
ago.
thought you did.
Sorry, I was like, that's so cool.
In the interim, between the Zoom meetings, I was like, oh, thank you. That's very nice of you.
Yeah.
It is kind of on the back burner. The difficult thing is, like, I find with independent clothing companies, it's quite oversaturated.
Yes.
There's a lot of independent clothing companies, and like Ollie Creeper Guitar has one, and he's doing really well. Like he's in like a partnership with a guy called Il Wookie, and like they're absolutely killing it, and like their designs are really cool. And like again, it's the similar sort of thing where I'm just a bit lazy, and which sucks because I'm like, damn, and like because ideas don't flow naturally through my brain because it's so full of like food and cats.
Just carbs.
Cats.
I just can't. Like I just cats and carbs. I'm like, I just can't. Like, I don't know. Like, I do really want to keep doing stuff with it, and like, the idea is to, but I can't pinpoint what I want to do with it. If that makes sense. Like, I don't know if I just want it to be a clothing company because because it's so oversaturated, and unless you have like a really unique idea, it's just not. It's kind of just going to flop. And then I was like, maybe I could do like embroidery stuff. Like, I thought about getting into embroidery and like thinking about embroidering my own stuff, but it's still up and running at the moment, and I should probably spend some time in isolation thinking about what I'm going to do with it.
What better way to spend this, you know?
Yeah.
Thinking about what's to do.
Yeah.
I really love the designs.
Look, you've got carbs, cats, and clothes now. There you go.
Well, exactly. Yeah. To be
like
fair, like
eating pizza.
maybe I should just make Grandma Wolf about cats and crisps. Maybe I should just like every different T-shirt with like a different packet of crisps on it.
That's a great shout. That's a great.
Monster Munch week, Skips week.
Loving that.
Yeah.
We're all cat lovers, aren't we? How many cats do you have?
I only have one now, but throughout I don't think I've ever been since I was 8. I don't think I've not had a cat. How many have you got?
I've got 2.
Chris got 2. I've got 4. I had so Gloria and Kenny, so they're brother and sister. And before Kenny, we had, bless his soul, rest in peace, Mr. Pooh. So he was
Mr. Pooh.
Literally Mr. Pooh. We were like, he just looks like Mr. Pooh, but didn't have an H on the end. And my sister was like, we're not calling him that. I was like, yeah, we are. And he got run over, and we didn't even have him a year. But he was, Chris, how big was he?
Massive cat.
Biggest cat. And he was the friendly, he'd literally,
Like
anyone who walked into the house, he would literally just be their best mate. So he passed away, which was so sad. So him and Gloria were brother and sister, and then so we told the owner, you know, before, who gave us them, that he passed away, and she said, well, I'm actually I can't, because she's got loads of cats. She was like, I can't really handle having so many cats, but we have Kenny, which is their brother, so we were like, we'll take him. So we got Kenny. He's awesome. He's stupid as fuck. But yeah, and then now we've got 2 little kittens, Gizmo and Sabrina. We got them in on Halloween.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I love that.
They're all black cats as well, so they're very cute.
Yes, that's even better.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm really jealous. I'm surprised mine isn't here. Like, she's around somewhere, but my cat is absolutely nuts. Like,
Mine's
I
normally
saw her.
asleep on my bed.
I saw your Instagram story. You were bashing heads with her before playing piano.
Oh
yeah, she loves. To be fair, like, if I play the piano, she'll come and sit with me, and like, if I sing, she'll either come and sit with me, or she'll like sit on the keys, like she'll sit on my hands, and I'm like, maybe she doesn't like my singing.
Yeah.
Stop. I've worked out which one it is just now.
That's awesome.
All right. I remember I played a gig once in Brighton, and it was for Brighton Music Festival, and this is like 4 years ago, and there was an in-house like cat, and it was deaf, so it would just, and it sat behind me the whole. We played like a 40-minute show, and it sat behind me while I was playing drums the whole show. Like, in between songs, I'd be like turning around, like tickling this cat. It was so cute.
I love that it's just deaf. Like, it's just like,
yeah. It was all. I think it was already deaf, so the owner was like, let's get a cat for the venue. So the venue has a cat, which is wicked.
That's actually a really good idea, because obviously you couldn't have a venue cat that wasn't deaf, and like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's no chance it's going to hurt its hearing. So like, fuck it, put it on stage.
Yeah,
that's so good.
There's just this cat just walking around behind me. Yeah, very cool.
So I have a last question. Chris, do you have any other questions you want to?
I don't think I do. I know that Ben has sent me a few that he's very, very excited about.
Ask away, honestly.
Ben is so cool. He's been a fan for like 4 years, and I met him at meet and greet, and he was like, have you heard of the band Creeper? And I'm like, yeah, I love them. We got closer from that, and we always see him. He's sick.
So he said to me, ask her, was there any point that you thought that maybe it would get out that you hadn't actually broken up, and that you were planning on doing like a whole reunion thing? To which I wanted to reply, well, I knew about it from like last year, but obviously I'm not going to. But yeah, was keeping that on the lowdown quite difficult, or did you find it quite easy?
It was, yeah, like, for me, I find it quite easy because I live so far out from, like, I don't live anywhere near Southampton, and like, I don't, like, there's a girl that lives in my village called Beth, and like, she's a sweetheart, and like, she's like a massive Creeper fan, and we met in my co-op, and she was like, oh my god, you're Hannah from Creeper, and like, we've actually become friends. Like, she's really, really sweet, and I think, although I shouldn't have, like, I told her, and like, she's great, like, she kept it like super wrapped down, and like, she didn't tell a soul, but like, I was quite lucky because I didn't really bump into too many people. Like, if I went to shows, I didn't bump into that many people, but and I think Sean was the best at keeping it. Like, Sean's like really good at acting. Like, so many people were like, I spoke to Sean, and he said that like, you weren't going to come back, and he had like an absolute poker face.
Nice. Nice.
But I think, yeah, like, it was, I was worried that maybe it would slip out, but it didn't. I think some people just knew that that wasn't going to happen, but some people were really like, oh my god, that's it. But I think we did a pretty good job at keeping it.
Yeah,
I think you did, to be fair, because it was really fun. I remember, because you told us at Slam Dunk, and then, god, it can't have been much like longer after that. Every time I see Ben, he always asks like, are you listening to Creeper more? And I'm like, yeah, Ben, like, I am, like, because he was the one who told me to like get into you guys in the first place. First time I met him, which was about 2 and a bit years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. And every time he's like, he always just wants to chat about that. So I'm like, yeah, that's cool. So he was chatting. He was like, oh, I'm glad they're not getting back together or anything like that. And this was the first time I saw him after you told us. And I was just like, it's so sad, mate, honestly.
Gutted. I am gutted.
Yeah. Bless him.
Yeah. No, it was, to be fair, like, I am really glad, like, for the people that did find out I'm very thankful to them that, like, it didn't get, because all it would have taken was one person on the Creeper Cult Facebook page to be like, guys, guess what? And then the whole thing would have been ruined. And like, so I'm very thankful that that went the way that it was supposed to. But I did see something funny.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about trust and all that. And
like I was just like, oh, thank God people get it. But somebody tweeted and they were like, do you think Creeper ever gets bored of deleting their social media? And I was like, yes, I do.
Yes.
Not bored, but like, I struggle without, like, I do struggle. I was in denial about how much I use social media. Like, me and Dan especially struggled without Instagram, and like, so yes, I do miss it. I have it back now, so that's fine.
Awesome.
How do you feel like you guys coming back has, like, what's the reception been like?
It's been great. I mean, obviously, like, with everything going on, it sucks. Like, this year was meant to be obviously like a really big year. It was meant to be like the comeback year, and it would have been really good. And I think it will still be good. I think next year might even be better, because we'll be touring as much as we possibly can. And like, just like with you guys, like with anyone, with any band, I think, I mean, everyone's going to be fighting for like venues and stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be like, no, I'm playing that day. No, I'm playing that day. But everybody, like, the reception's been really good. Like, the comeback show that we did in November was so, like, that was so sick.
I saw some of the photos from that. It looked so fucking good.
It was honestly, like, that feeling when, like, because we had like a curtain, like a proper like theatre curtain, and like,
oh sweet,
when that opened, I was like, thank God we're back doing this again. And I think that was just the general vibe from everyone. They were just like,
that's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah, that was great.
Just another question. How was Baby Metal?
Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah,
because like,
that's so good.
We wanted to go, but cool. I was in Disney and you were in Dubai, weren't you?
I was in Dubai.
No.
Oh dear. Sorry about that.
No, we really wanted to go.
Oh, I wish you guys had come. It was so good. It was honestly like, oh my goodness. And like, again, like, I sound like a broken record with like COVID, but like, that was the first. It was only a little tour. It was only 4 or 5 shows, but that was the first tour that we'd done since 2018, and it was so like, it was just amazing. And like, they were the nicest.
Good.
The show was like, we watched them every single night.
Yeah,
I would.
You can't
I imagine they put on like an unbelievable show.
Honestly, like, what goes into it, and they're so. Oh, it was just and they were just so nice as well. For like a big band, you would expect them. Obviously, they were just like, you know, like, you guys keep yourselves to yourselves, and like, this is the rules for this, and blah blah blah. But they were like so accommodating to us, and like we like met them and like said hi and thank you and like all that kind of stuff, and like they were like just the sweetest. And I would have loved to have done more shows of them. Like, it just didn't. It started and then it was over because it was only like 4 shows.
Yeah,
it was great.
Oh my God,
so sick.
That's so cool. That's
so
very jealous.
I have a little question. So imagine you're like 18. What advice would you give to your 18-year-old self, or any up and coming bands out there, females in the music industry wanting to go for it, bit scared, or even bands coming up? And
I mean, I would just say, like, I'm just trying to think of 18-year-old me. 18-year-old me would not believe what I was doing right now. I would be like, what? I would just say, like, just having the confidence to just keep it going. And like, the difficult thing, and this is something I've always struggled with, is criticism, or like somebody knocking you back. And like we discussed earlier, that does happen. No, and it happens with everyone in the music industry.
Yeah.
And I would just say, just to keep going. Like if you really believe that you've got something and like you can do something, there are shitty people out there that might kind of knock you back, but just to keep going, get as much experience as you possibly can, like meet as many people as you can, and just give it as much as possible, which sounds like I'm contradicting myself, because I was like, I'm really lazy earlier. You can, but do that. Not everyone's as lazy as I am.
Well, I'm probably running you very close with that.
Yeah, I think you and I can probably just cats and carbs all day. And Bron and Will will just be there like, so I've got all these items.
I'm so like ADHD, like, and OCD as well. So like if I'm daydreaming, it has to be like, right, what am I going to do? It's literally like
it's the most
every parents' evening in school. All the teachers were like, Bronnie is literally away with the fairies 24/7, like random shit, and I'm like, oh no,
can't help it. Sorry.
Yeah. Whereas us and cats and carbs.
Cats and carbs.
That's where it's at.
The end.
Yeah.
The end. Absolutely.
Forget D&D. It's all about CNC.
Wicked. Well, thank you so much again for coming on.
Again.
No, of course.
It's been wicked to chat, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Once all this is over, we can actually come and see you play and all hang out, and it'll be wicked.
Yeah, I can't literally you guys come to our show and we'll come to yours. We'll hang out. I mean, I'm going to be hanging out with everyone as soon as it's safe to do so.
Yes, I need to see people.
Same. I need humans that aren't just my family. Please let me see my friends now.
Yes.
Yeah, it's killing me.
I'm speak cat language now. I'm just going that insane. I'm like,
I'm literally my cat is like my friend. But everyone stay safe. Please don't go out and make it worse. The end.
Exactly. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on.
Of course, thank you.
Yeah, where can people find you? Your social medias, your handles, all that kind of stuff.
My Instagram is Hannah Hermione, and my Twitter is Hannah_Hermione.
Nice. So guys, go and follow if you don't already. This has been Mom, It's My Life.
Hell yeah. Hope you enjoyed the podcast, you guys.
Yeah.
It's
been fun.
Awesome.
Right.
Thanks, guys.
Peace out.
Yes.
See you soon.
Bye. So guys, that was our chat with Hannah from Creeper. Absolute legend. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, let us know in the comments, whether this be on Instagram. You can leave us a review on Spotify, I believe. Can you do that? I think you can.
I think it's just iTunes.
Is it just
I
iTunes?
don't know.
Oh, well, fuck
but
it.
hey ho, she's great. We've always found it so easy to speak to Hannah.
Yeah.
She's a great gal.
I've only met her twice, and I've only spoken to her a couple of times. But yeah, one of the absolute legends, and is such a. What I found about Hannah that I've kind of learned is that she's such a good role model for how to be such a genuine industry professional.
Yes, 100%.
Because learning obviously I've not spoken to her a lot, but how we can just chat.
Shout out to Hannah. Right, guys, we hope you have enjoyed this episode. We'll see you very soon. Mom, it's my life. Woo-hoo, bye-bye.
Doing the best dance impression.
You look like That's So Raven when she tries to dance.
Do a TikTok. I can't do it. Wait, which way do you go first?
I don't know. I think it's work the hips, Christopher.
I don't have any hips to work. Guys, thank you for watching. Stay safe. Stay isolated. Peace out.
Eat quavers.
Love
Goodbye.
your mothers.
The Bronnie Show.